Well, looks like I'm only slightly behind schedule. Okay, let's start with a quick and dirty install guide. Just Google Accel, go to the GitHub page, and then scroll down on the right side, go to releases, and then you want to scroll down in the latest version, find yourself the asset section, raw Excel, and the zip file. Once you download it, you want to open it, extract it anywhere you like pretty much, but I prefer the C drive and I make a folder called raw Excel. You can put it anywhere, doesn't really matter. Once you do this, you want to right click on the installer, run it as administrator. Once you do this, you have to restart your PC. All it will not take effect. Once you restart your PC, make a shortcut for this or run it manually, it doesn't matter. You run this file, like this exe I should say, you get this UI, right? You of course get it like this with no rotation. But if you want to test if it's actually working, you just come to the sense multiplier, you do 0.5 or 0.2, something slow, right? Like something very low. And then your mouse should go to a crawl. It should be really slow. If it is be slowed down, then it's working. If it's not slowing down, then it's not working. You did something wrong. You want to reinstall it. If like the sense multiplier is taking effect, then you're good. So first of all, we will start with fixing your rotation. This is going to be starting with 0. Just don't mind the number I had there. So usually whenever you're playing a game, you're holding the mouse at an angle. You're not like really holding it straight, right? So we want to fix that. How do we do that? Just Google mouse rotation tool, Razer mouse rotation tool. You don't have to have a Razer mouse. This works on any mouse. It's a website. I'll even link it below. But like here, you want to be sitting right, like you will be playing the game, and then you want to hold your mouse like you usually hold it when you're aiming. You want to do straight lines left and right, but you don't want to correct it. Usually when you hold the mouse in an angle, like this is, you see like I'm trying to do straight angles right now, but it's going sideways because I'm doing arcs on my mouse pad, right? Like you want to be doing arcs left, right, but try to translate it into a straight line inside of the game or like the browser right now. So how do you find out what angle you want to correct for? You come to this website, you left click, you preferably close your eyes a bit so you don't, your brain doesn't overcorrect for the weirdness basically, and then you left right 10 times or like more, doesn't matter, and then you right click when you're done. So yeah, so you just come here, left click, close your eyes, left right, left right, left right, left right, left right, do it a couple of times, and then whenever you're done, just right click. And the website broke. Sometimes it does happen. Just do it again, right? Like try to stay inside the range, I think. So yeah, left, right. And then whenever you're done, right click. And you get a number. This number is a bit too stupid, honestly. Like I play with like an insane fucking angle usually. Usually it's not this high, but you wanna this is good because you wanna get an average of it, right? Like you don't wanna do it one time, you wanna do it like 5 times and get an average of it. Anyways, next. And then you do it again. And then you right click. So now I got something a bit more sensible, right? And then again. So you see, like it's slowly trying to correct itself, but the more you play, the more it's gonna try to correct itself. But honestly, like you just try to make it natural and find out whatever works for you. Like don't rush this step. This is probably the most important one. And then yeah, so I'm getting around between like 18 and 16, right? So yeah, so each person is different. Like I said, each one aims better, or like aims differently, I should say, and like holds the mouse differently. So after more testing, I found out that this number works nice for me. Right, when I type it in, I get very small amount of deviation. That doesn't mean this number is perfect. I actually recently only changed to this. For a very long time, I played with minus 17 or 17.25. Yeah, like do some testing in the range that you get and find something that works nice for you. The only reason I'm like trying different ones, even though I played with this number for a very long time, is because I do think it's a bit too high, 70 degrees, but that doesn't matter. Each person, especially with like the mouse pad you have, even like later on with sync speed and stuff like that, all dependent on like the setup you have, the mouse pad you have, the skates you have, all of that. Not with the rotation particularly, but yeah, you get the idea. It's gonna come here, gonna change it to synchronous. Okay, gonna change the drop down to synchronous. Make sure gain is unticked. Leave everything default, doesn't really matter. Set your sync speed to 400. This will effectively turns it off. So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna do the long range first. Let's try with the default setting. So the higher this number is, the slower is your long range. Currently, it will be different later because this range affects both your high and low. But for now, 1.5. What does that mean? It's gonna lower our current sensitivity, whatever we have in game, by 1.5, right? So it's a bit too slow for me. So I want to increase my lower and long range. So right, I'm gonna try 4. Let's see how it is now. It's still a bit too slow. I feel like I barely can control recoil and like track. Let's try 3. 3 is not bad. But I feel like I'm only long range, by the way. See, I keep making the mistake of trying to track close range. Now, right now, we only should be focusing on long range. Even that was not long range. Like, yeah, this race is long range. But like you see when she 80s, I can't like keep up with her. Okay, so now let's try 1.2. Honestly, it's not bad. I like 1.2. But I know what's called like this might cause me problem later. Because I can like still not keep up very well with them. I want my long range to be flawless, but only the extreme long range, right? So let's try 1.1, see how this goes. It's not bad, but I'm still trailing behind. Did you notice like when he went left, I was trailing behind him? So I'm not still as not as fast as I want. By the way, I'm a very special case. By special, I mean stupid. What I like really low motivity. Most people play at the range of 1.2. That's like their range, right? But I personally like very low motivity. This will on 0.05. This means like 5% up and down. So my whole range is 10%. So my sensitivities will be in the range of 10%. But like I said, it's really personal preference. It's up to you. So let's try 1.0. By the way, I'm not using the settings that I use. Usually the settings that I use are very different. But I'm just like trying to show you like how will you go about doing it to go into a ballpark and then go from there. So yeah, 1.05 like this. This doesn't feel bad. Like when they're 80 I'm not trailing behind them. I'm not as accurate as 1.2. I was more accurate with 1.2. But honestly, I'd rather be not trailing behind the target. That's always a problem for me. Like I have like lazy aim basically. Well, I'm recording this after the fact because I forgot. But once you find the motivity that works long range for you while you have your sync speed really high, preferably in a perfect world, if you set this to 0.1, now we will actually test only close range. So like we set it to 0.1, and now hopefully the same motivity value will work only close range for you. And what I mean by that, you literally go to their face and then you like track them, right? Like your transition in between doesn't matter. You want only in like the range. You only care about the motion. So right now in this case, it kind of works, right? But if it doesn't work, you just increase it and lower it, and then hopefully find a value that works both when your sync speed is max and when it's 0, right? So that is the goal. That is what you're trying to find. If it doesn't work, like if you can't find a value that works in both ways, then you have to change your either in-game sensitivity. So you got like the controls, you can change your in-game sensitivity, or you use the sense multiplier inside of Accel, and then you try to change this to find a range with a motivity value that works both ways. We'll go more into this in the next section. So, okay, so we determined this is the motivity. Now we have to figure out sync speed. What the hell is sync speed? So, sync speed is your close range and medium range, especially medium range. Close range also determined by motivity, right? Medium range is what we care about right now. So in order for it to take effect, let's try with like a base value. Let's try with something like 10, right? An average value for like 1600 DPI is 7, but that's on the DPI. So if you're higher, lower, divide it or multiply it based on that. Let's try with something like sensible, something like 10 or 5, right? And let's try medium range. So you saw I was trailing behind him there for a bit. See, yeah, I'm trailing behind the target. That means it's a bit too slow. By the way, lowering this will increase the speed. So we lowered to 5. This will make me kick to my higher sensitivity earlier. Let's see. Well, like, yeah, now I'm a bit jittery. That means I'm too fast. Let's try something between 7. This feels nicer. Yeah, I'm definitely on target, medium range. See, but like, it could be a bit better. But this is like a good starting point. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let's try something else. Let's try to tweak it a bit more. Maybe 0.2. Yeah, it's not bad. So here, we're basically, you're kind of done at this point, honestly. From now on, here you want to be tweaking. So what does that mean? Well, okay. Now let's try to test close range with like big flicks. Like I'm intentionally flicking. I'm trying to like make big adjustments, see how my close range is, right? I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not good, right? Like you can see, it's like 50% of the time. And you can see like I'm really struggling if I try to do like smaller flicks. If I'm trying to like do medium range, big flicks no problem, but like medium range flicks, bit struggling more. What does that tell us? That tells us it's probably sync speed. So let's try both ways. Usually, by the way, it's not always faster or lower. Sometimes going faster will make you control it better on longer range. Sometimes going lower will make you control better. So like, yeah, let's try it both ways. This feels worse. So let's try the other side. 0.4. How does this feel? Better, bit better, but not that much better, honestly. So maybe our range is too big. Let's try it with smaller increments. Okay. What's my medium range? Yeah, my medium range feels much better now. So like sometimes you really want to go into the smaller increments. Okay, let's try the other side. We were 2, let's try 3. Honestly, still not bad, but I preferred 1 more. Yeah, I definitely prefer 1 more. So yeah, let's go even a bit lower. This is like we're specialized on now, right? So 1.5, let's see how this feels. Still not bad, but I preferred 1 more, honestly. Yeah. So if 1 was nice, maybe, and we know 1 was nice, we know 7 was too fast. Let's try something in between. Ah, this feels pretty nice. So yeah, now we know where our sync speed is this. See, very small changes make a big difference. So now let's see if the other things we first tested still line up. Like how is our tracking? This doesn't look too bad, right? Like this looks pretty decent. How's our long range tracking? I mean, felt like it's struggled a bit more, but maybe I just need to get used to it because these are not the values that I usually play with. Having said that, in my opinion, Accel is not something you get used to. Accel is something you try the settings. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it's the bad setting. Go next, right? Like don't waste too much time on it. If it's not the right settings for you immediately, almost just go next. So like this feels nice medium range. This feels like close range. It doesn't feel as nice long range, but honestly, I don't want to spend another hour tweaking it. So this is just for the sake of the video, right? Because these are not the settings I use anyway. So it's close, but it's not. Okay, so you're pretty much done at this point, right? You got everything you need to get you started, find a good value, and then go from there. The next section is basically just diving deeper and testing the 2 values that we found, the 2 different like sets of values that we find. Just to give you an example, even with like not perfect values, something we just came up with on the fly, you'll still get decent results. Okay, before the next section, quick tip for the Quake players. Go to a custom match, set it to Impulse 9, so you have access to all weapons. Set it to random bots, nightmare difficulty, you don't want them to feel non-threatening. And also, like, other difficulties are not as predictable. Why do I recommend doing it versus bots? Because bots are predictable. They usually move in one direction. You want easy and predictable because you're testing different settings. If you can hit the easy shots, then you can later try test it more in a real match versus the hard shots. But if you're failing the easy shots, the predictable bots, that these are bad settings and you shouldn't even try to use them, right? So try them with versus bots in the beginning. It's much better than trying them versus real players because you will not know are you going versus a good player or a bad player between the matches, right? So like your sensitivity could feel like it could be really good, but you go versus a good player or like vice versa. Either way, a map that I recommend is Burial. We get Burial, go to the high ground, machine gun without zooming in, just use machine gun for long range, right? Just use railgun, don't flick, that's for your long range. Close range, use the railgun as a shotgun, go to them, try to flick. Use your LG, don't use the actual shotgun, its spread doesn't really give you a lot of info, right? But like, yeah, your movement also, if your range is off, your movement will be clunky. If you notice in the first match, I'm gonna be hitting a lot of walls because like my range is not the preferred range that I usually use. But yeah, now you have an idea, like this is how you start with it. Last thing for the Quake players, direct input, if you're always full screen, all games, especially DirectX 11 games, 12 doesn't matter. But direct input, if you're on high FPS, if you have high FPS, use direct input. If you have a lower FPS, let's say less than 120-ish, use raw input. Raw input is better at lower FPS, while after that, direct input is a lot better. Same thing goes for Overwatch. In Overwatch, it's called, it's in the gameplay section, last option. I don't fucking remember the name. Something about high precision mouse input. Turn it off if you're high FPS. But what if you're a bigger nerd? What if you want to spend even more time, try to fine tune it, try to find something that works better for you, right? Like something that's not just okay, but like better. Then you have to understand what each value does, so you can move it in a way that you think your aim needs, right? Do you think like your aim needs just a bit more smoothness? Does it need like a bit more low end, higher end, right? Like, how do you go about that? Well, first of all, let's start. What if the motivity you find doesn't work in both ends, right? Like as we explained before, just as a quick recap, you set sync speed to like 400 or like something really stupid big, and then you do long range with motivity, right? And then hopefully the same motivity value will work when you set sync speed to 0.1, and then you do all the close range, like really extremely close range, right? Like not even like slow close range, but like real fast. So what if that value doesn't work? Well, first of all, that means your base sensitivity is probably wrong. So you want to increase like your base sensitivity. What do I mean by that? Either the sense multiplier in Accel, or you want to change your in-game sensitivity. Preferably in-game sensitivity if you want to go higher, but with a sense multiplier you can go higher, not recommended. Going lower, completely fine. So going from 1 to like 0.8, 0.9, no, 0.95, something like that, completely fine. Going lower is scaling it down. Think of it like resolution, right? Think of it like an image. Scaling it down, no problem. Scaling it up, not the best idea, right? So that is the first thing you can do if the motivity value you're using doesn't work on both ends. It only works on long range. You can only like fix long range, or you can only fix close range. You cannot really make it work for both. Then change your base sense, and then try the same values, different values. Same values will give you different results if you use the same base sense. That's number one. Okay. So what if you still can't find like a perfect sensitivity, right? You can find something good, but it's not absolutely perfect. Well, bad news is you're never gonna find something that's perfect. I've been doing this for almost like 5 years. I've like tried millions of different settings. You're never gonna find something that works across all games that's all so perfect. You're gonna find a lot of different really good settings. You're gonna get close to perfection, but you're never gonna hit it, and every time you hit perfection, something's gonna change in your setup and you're back at square one. So don't worry too much about it. I intentionally shown you gameplay in the back with completely two different set of values for Quake right now. One, we were using the first motivity we like, the 1.2, right? And then the other one, we're using the second one we like, the 1.05, right? And also, I'm trying different sync speeds and different rotations to show you that. And the gameplay in the back, if you notice between like the first game and second game, they're kind of similar, right? Like they're both of them similar. Both of them suck with LG because LG is really sensitive to having like really good, nice rotation, and I wasn't using the rotation that I really like preferred here. I'm just trying to show you like what is that. Even using values you just like can find really quickly with this method, getting you into the ballpark is still good enough. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And if you notice, like the rail is not as great at the second one. Like it's still pretty good, but it's not as great the first one. But the LG feels a lot smoother. The movement feels a lot nicer, while the LG suffers a bit. So even different values will give you similar results if they are like in the ballpark. What's called like and that's your goal, right? Like you want to find how many different values give you the good stuff and then merge them. That's being said, what are the values actually? What do they do? When you change them, what do they actually change? So let's start with motivity. Motivity is your range of your acceleration, right? Whatever number you type there is going to take your base sensitivity. Let's say your base sensitivity inside of your game is 1. It's going to take it and multiplies it by whatever. Let's say you have 1.5. It's going to increase it by 1.5 when you're moving fast and decrease it by 1.5 when you're not moving fast. Well, what is fast? What is the definition of fast? That's when sync speed comes in. Your sync speed is you're defining what is fast for you. What is your middle ground? You're defining the middle point, right? So, and that is the number is actually your count. It's like DPI, right? So the higher your DPI is, by the way, don't match my values, because each mouse is different, each setup is different, each mouse pad is different, each person's like natural hand speed is different. The sensitivity determines a lot of the speed. So sync speed 7 for me. If you're a very low sense player, you may want to use like 20 or 40. So the values I gave are just like estimates for like 1600 DPI high sense player. For you, completely could be different, right? Like don't go to the ranges basically too much. Like don't take them as law. So that being said, your sync speed, if you have higher DPI, higher value, fine. Lower DPI, you have lower value. It will give you the same results. That's what I'm trying to say. Like with a higher DPI, they scale with it basically. So if you feel like your middle point, you want to like change your middle point to the left or right, like you want to make it kick earlier, you lower your sync speed, which means you're saying increase my SSFD earlier. If you want to make it later, if you want to make it kick later, like if you're tracking mid-range, by the way, sync speed only matters in mid-range, doesn't matter long range or close range. So like, yeah, so if you're tracking like mid, which is the most important range, by the way, but like, yeah, let's say you're tracking mid-range and then you feel like, oh, it's a bit too slow, then you lower the sync speed. Counterintuitive, I know, but it is what it is. But like, you feel like, oh, it's a bit too fast, I'm like overshooting, then you increase the sync speed, right? In theory, if you have your rotation value set right, and you have your sync speed set right, most motivity values will work. They will not be perfect, but like pretty much anything you throw there is gonna feel okay. It's gonna feel nice, right? And keep in mind, with raw Accel, you spoke with like not raw Accel, with like acceleration in general, if the setting doesn't work from the get-go first try, it's bad setting. This is not like your base sensitivity. You don't want to sit there, want to get used to it. You don't want to force yourself to learning it. If it doesn't feel natural to you, then you shouldn't use it. The point of acceleration is to find settings that are natural to you, not to force yourself to use something, even if it's like better in the billionth year after you use it. Doesn't really matter. You want to find something that's good right now, especially if you want to be relaxed in your aim, if you don't want to force it, if you want to feel like everything feels natural for you, so you can have those long sessions of gaming and your aim will not degrade over time.